Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Newsround for Anfield Index. It's been a minute, hasn't it? The international break is finally over. The serious business is back, and it's that serious. We're going to be talking about who's fit for the massive game on Sunday. Little tinkling of what Arne Slot mentioned at his press conference, all the latest things off the field, including a ticketing survey we've got to talk about. And of course, at the same time, we'll get into all the other rumours, the links, what might be real, what might just be a load of nonsense. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from, 24 hours I was in Portugal, sipping little drinks with umbrellas and eating stuff that was bad for me. And now I'm in Edinburgh where it's just fucking October, innit, type of thing. You know what it's like. But you don't care too much about the weather. You care about the normal stuff we cover on Newsround. And we start at the top with that age-old question, how are we? We've had the break. We needed it after 3 defeats back-to-back. We knew that. But now we're ready to go. Simple as that. Because we start 7 games from Sunday in 21 days until the next international break. It is relentless. And literally, there aren't really any excuses, so to speak, in terms of we can't just keep talking about fitness embedded. Arne Slot even alluded to this in his press conference, which I'll talk about at the same time. It's game on now, proper style. Because when you look at that table, we are a point behind Arsenal. They've got 16, we've got 15. And it's all focused on the return of the Premier League this weekend. Some interesting fixtures, isn't there? Forest Chelsea, the 12:30 on Saturday. That's worth the watch. Brighton, Newcastle, City, Everton. Some proper good ones at 3 o'clock. We'll have an eye on that one, won't we? 5:30 Saturday. Fulham, Arsenal, Craven Cottage. I doubt they will, but could Marco Silva's boys do us a favour there? But you fully expect by the time that we kick off on Super Sunday, there will be a 4-point gap, which means win. Simple as that. It's got to be 3 points on Sunday, hasn't it? It's got to be by 6:30, leaving the ground, because I'll be there buzzing at the ground as well. I'm looking forward to this. The noise should just be electrifying. This is the biggest game in the football calendar. Make no mistake about it. And there's some great derbies around the world, but this is the one that world football look to. You can see the hatred. And whatever you think of them, they come down the East Lancs Road and they make noise. And they'll be buoyed by certain facts, won't they? They'll be looking back to that 2-2 draw last season when Maguire nearly won it and thinking, what could have been? But we won't have a right back just wandering around doing nothing this time, will we, as well? These players have got to be on it from the start straight away. Anfield will demand that of them. They know we need to see a reaction. They'll be keen to deliver a reaction after what's happened before the international break. We can't be expecting necessarily electrifying performance. We've all got visions, haven't we, of that 7-0 and things like that. And I'm even seeing reports from different people saying United have got a real chance in this one. I don't mind that, because last time they came, and remember when Neville and Keane were smirking a little bit, shall we say? You know exactly what happened, so I don't mind that back at all. And welcome to a few, because a few comments are flying in at the same time. And we'll probably start in place of where a lot of people want to ask. Because Kathy Jones saying there, we need Schlotterbeck in January. We won't be able to cope with the level of games from January onwards. Let's be honest, there's a lot of centre-back chatter, isn't there? We know the concerns we've got. Virgil, you were worried from this international break, was our only ready, and I'm phrasing this carefully, ready, informed centre-back. Ibu's had a bit of a stinker. Obviously, we didn't know about his injury. There is a positive update from that from Arne Slot. He did say in his presser, Ibu's back in training, expected to train in the 2 sessions before Sunday. So that was a positive update as well. But then you've got Joe Gomez, who Slot we don't think really particularly fancies. Do we, if we're completely honest? So surely there's a centre-back set to come in January. Now, I had a few doubts, I'll say, initially over some of the stories, but it's always good to get affirmation, isn't it? And when Florian Plettenberg tweets that we're not interested at all in Nico Schlotterbeck, and as he reports there, rumours linking Liverpool with Nico Schlotterbeck are wide of the mark, the first thing you think is, oh, thank God we are in for him. Thank God. If Florian's saying we aren't, we clearly aren't, because it's a Bayern mouthpiece there, clearly. Because if anyone missed it, in the next tweet, he then put out, oh, Bayern are interested. But we know where this is going. Maybe we're facing off for them again after beating them in case of Wirtz to go for Schlotterbeck. And why wouldn't we if we can? I mean, just bringing a few bits up here on his FB ref. And just, I watched him for midweek. He played against Northern Ireland, didn't he, in a tough game in Belfast for Germany, but just has some real quality on the ball, and seeing him for Dortmund before as well. I mean, if you look at certain things, look at that. Progressive passes for a centre-back doesn't get better. Over 8 a game, 99th percentile there. Passes attempted, 98th percentile. Yeah? 89. Nearly 1 a minute. So, metronomic and progressive. You saw a few switches in the game for Northern Ireland, and he's overlaid there with another player, Upamecano. Now, these two seem almost linked a bit, and you throw Ibu in the mix because there's two French international centre-halves that might well be leaving their clubs on a free. And I think I'm saying that, obviously we know about Ibu, but there are reports from Germany even this morning that Upamecano, Bayern are not prepared to pay the signing on, the loyalty reward, if you want to call it that, for him to stay at the club, and Real Madrid and others are interested. So it does feel like Canate and Upamecano are linked there. And obviously we keep getting mentioned for Upamecano, we keep getting mentioned for Schlotterbeck as well. If you look at the reports as well and doing a bit of digging as we do at Anfield Index, essentially Schlotterbeck is asking for half the salary that Upamecano is. And I'll make no bones about it. I would take Schlotterbeck over Upamecano all days long because of the brain farts that Upamecano comes up with. He's probably a bit slightly better passer, but in terms of the all-round picture, decision-making aerially especially as well, it's Schlotterbeck every day and twice on Sunday over Upamecano. It's not even a random debate for me at all. We'll see if we get anything more. The one thing it is important to report, and as it's being suggested in various places, whether you like it or not, absolutely none of these seem set for January. So I wouldn't get my hopes up around either of these, but I would love to be wrong on Schlotterbeck. We will have to see on that one. Now, this blows my mind. I don't know if anyone's seen it a little bit. The ticketing survey that Liverpool have sent round, they announced it on their website. So if you were qualified like I did, you received an email from them. So it's there. And then even if you didn't, you could go on and register through a link. Some of this I love, some of it absolute nonsense. And I'll explain carefully what I mean by this. The club emphasises, it says, no policy decision's been made yet. It's committed to giving supporters a say in this process. But look at some of the stuff. And some of the stuff, a multi-year loyalty system. For example, credits being relevant for multiple seasons. I could understand that. I genuinely could. There's bits I love at the same time as well that get expanded on. Ways to protect tickets for priority groups such as local and young people. For example, by the introduction of a dedicated local young adult area or priority for juniors. Love that. Some sort of version of the boys' pen as it used to be back in the day. Giving a chance, protecting young Scousers who make noise. I don't care what anyone says about this. a chance to get in that stadium and get in that stadium regularly in an affordable way, crucial. The absolute lifeblood of this football club. I adore that idea of giving some sort of area, some sort of protection to that group, the next generation who will go home and away as well. Love it. It doesn't, I'm not saying it has to be called the boys' pen or whatever, but that is the premise. It's brilliant to hear that. That I adore. I'm not sort of shirking this at all. I despise this bit. Look at this. Ways to protect tickets for supporters who don't meet the guaranteed threshold for ticket access. For example, a reduction in the number of guaranteed games for supporters with 13 plus credits. Utter nonsense. Transparency, I'm a 13 plus, but I worked my fucking way up that. I went on the late sales, took time off work to do those types of things, go to the game. And what actually annoyed me a little bit on this was Phil Dutton was on a podcast yesterday and he kind of mentioned the two and talked about season ticket holders who don't always go and 13 plus and conflated the two. But it's the complete opposite because, and this isn't attacking season ticket holders, but he used the analogy of a season ticket holder that doesn't go and conflated it with a 13 plus. Now, to keep 13 plus, you've got to go, by the way. They've removed the two distributes. You've got to go to keep your 13 plus. Why they're coming after the 13 plus brigade, I have got absolutely no idea. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And if you doubt what I'm saying at all, this was part of the official statement from the Liverpool Supporters Club. So I'm echoing what these are saying. They said, any changes for supporters with 13 plus credits itself, a legacy of club policy, would be hugely divisive and would not fix the wider problems in ticket access. It would simply move frustration from one group of fans to another. Absolutely true. I still always struggle, and ticketing is never going to be the perfect scenario. I get it. There's always going to be someone who feels a bit annoyed, someone who feels, I get that. I don't have a perfect wand or a perfect scenario, but it does feel like the club are now needlessly coming after 13 plus, and it seems ridiculous. We'll see if anything more comes out on that. There's bound to be reactions. One swipe of social media and you'll see the reactions. Little bit off track, but little segment I'll be introducing regularly now. Brain Donor of the Week. And this week's Brain Donor of the Week award goes to former Everton, former Manchester City centre-back, Joleon Lescott, who commented on a part bullishly as well. If Liverpool could get their money back on Florian Wirtz, they would do it. Now, I'm not set up a GoFundMe page or anything like that for this at the moment, but 10 games into the season, and people are just writing players off. It's just amazing. People forget what happened with Thierry Henry at the start of his Arsenal career. How Kevin De Bruyne stuttered a bit. Do you remember there's that famous Soccer Saturday, when they were all talking about it, and his start, and look how stupid they looked. Just because a player doesn't hit the ground running straight away. Just honestly. So this week's Brain Donor of the Week award, Joleon Lescott takes it hands down. Well played to you, Joleon. It is on its way in the post. Other news as well. I mean, the general feel, and I can't stress this enough, this is the start of a huge period, which you can't win the title. And people will say a title race only starts in March. I get that. But this is a massive period. Now, these 7 games from Sunday in 21 days. And just have a look at this if you doubt me, because it's a Manchester sandwich as well. So it's them on Sunday, isn't it? For Wednesday, we fly out to Frankfurt. Brentford away. Jordan Henderson there. Won't mind doing a number on us. You know that. Then the Carabao. Maybe that's the one you see rest on the 29th of October. The 1st of November, Anfield under the lights for Villa. I mean, what a week this is, by the way. Look at that. November starts. 1st November, Villa at Anfield. Tuesday, the 4th of November, Real Madrid at Anfield in the Champions League. And before the international break, City away, Sunday, the 9th of November. It is a hell of a run. And you can't win anything by that time. But if we show the form we've been showing recently, we can be essentially out of things, can't we? I don't think there's any doubting of that at all. Liverpool have got to respond and really show something based on what happened before the international break. And that is why Sunday is so important. As LFC Forever First says there, we need a big win to silence this nonsense from rivals. It starts on Sunday. A win, nothing less, is acceptable. That stadium will be electric. The fans will do their part. You've no doubt about that. It's a hell of a run, but it is a hell of a game starting on Sunday. Genuinely excited for it. Can't wait at all. So we come back to that. How are we? We're excited. We're ready for Sunday. We don't think Fulham will be doing us a favour on Saturday, but 3 points is the only thing that is acceptable. Everyone in that stadium, players and fans, will be giving everything. We'll see what happens there. But thank you for your comments as ever, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. Friday, the 17th of October. That was a news round for Anfield Index.